Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. Here we have Nacho Average Joes versus the Italian Grinders. If those names seem odd, that's because it's part of our Team Trio Open. That's Pioneer Modern Legacy. The Legacy seat captured on camera. So far, got some powerful plays here. Sylvan Library, and then immediately answered by Spirit of the Labyrinth. That's going to shut down that card draw. We pause briefly on Caracas. That's a key card in this matchup, preventing the Merit Lage from showing up, be bounced by Caracas. Nacho Average Joes are going to need to find an answer to Caracas. Could be Wasteland. And wow, trading the Ramunap Excavator for Spirit of the Labyrinth. Trade offer and accepted the recursion from the Ramunap Excavator. Would have eventually, I mean, that could have certainly buried Death and Taxes. Being able to bring a land back each turn is quite an advantage in a deck full of so many different lands, many of them versatile at that. But instead, Sylvan Library, finding Sylvan Safekeeper. Thalia shows up on the other side. That feels pretty late with your opponent having 5 mana, a Sylvan already on board. They may not need to cast another spell to win this game. Knight of the Reliquary. A spell, but it is a creature, so Thalia has no thing to say about that. It's 3 mana as printed. And now we've got a fetch. This is going to be a blowout situation here. Thalia swang into Knight of the Reliquary, and there's a fetch that goes on. We have a Solitude. Yeah, that's a total blowout. Not where you want to be. Sylvan Safekeeper actually counters Solitude's ETB, and the Knight of the Reliquary just lives on. An absolute monster here. Not only does he loom over the board, just its hulking muscularity. On top of that, it's going to be able to pull together the combo. Dark Depths is already on board, and Thespian Stage can be soon to follow. Batterskull not really going to do a whole lot. Well, grabbing Cauldron Complete instead. I feel like that's also not going to do a whole lot. Sylvan Safekeeper, a real problem. So many lands on board. Going to want to make a Merit Lage on Death and Taxes end step. In all likelihood. Definitely don't want to make it on your turn, as they'll be able to activate Caracas and then again on their turn. Though he does have the lands to potentially shrug off the Caracas. But if your opponent has additional removal, then you'll end up losing. So no reason to make the 2020 just yet. The Sylvan Safekeeper, the star of the show here for 1 mana. Just so powerful. Just the threat of being able to sacrifice the lands does the job. And equipping. So cast and equip with Umezawa's Jite. While he's all tapped out. Time to make a Merit Lage. There it is. The 4 life that could be gained off of this Umezawa's Jite could be useful if it was like turn 5, but this is inevitable as this indestructible Merit Lage takes it down, possibly with friends. If there was an attack step, there would be 4 extra life that could be gained, but there were plenty of other bodies to help out to deal the extra 4 damage on the crackback. So Nacho Average Joe's up a game here. Alien Grinders will have the play. Death and Taxes often curves out really well, particularly the 60 card build. Aether Vial, Mother of Runes. Of course, that turn 2, you're really looking for Thalia most of the times. That is going to have the biggest impact on the game. Later turns, Stoneforge Mystic and some of your other 2-drops can help add to the pressure, but Thalia just so important to stopping the more busted plays that can happen in the format. It's Mother of Runes. Going to be able to protect Thalia, though there's not a whole lot in depths that's going to be able to target. It's not like it's got access to Punishing Fire. This is a green-white build. Wasteland utilized early. That Wasteland could have been saved for later. The best possible time to be using that in this matchup as far as value goes is after Thespian Stage has targeted Dark Depths, able to allow the Legend rule to resolve, and then Wasteland the Thespian Stage that is now a copy of Dark Depths, getting you a 2-for-1, and perhaps more importantly, setting them back 2 land drops. Swords to Plowshares, taking out Ramunap Excavator at 2 mana. Still just fine here as the pressure continues from Thalia. Mother Runes sitting back. Let me know if you'd be attacking with Mother of Runes here. It's kind of interesting. I think it can be useful for punching through damage in this matchup. It can also be great for kind of creating an infinite blocker with Flicker Wisp and a Merit Lage, just being able to continually give it pro-black and step in the way of the 2020. I don't know how much value it has just sitting back here in these early turns. Swords to Plowshares has given back some life, and it's possible that it would be better to be attacking with Mother of Runes. It's often wrong to do so, but in this particular matchup, it seems like it might actually be preferable. Any Depths players or Death and Taxes players weigh in with some deck-specific knowledge. I feel like it's just not something that Selesnya Depths is going to be able to capitalize on. Construct tokens have been made, and it's worth noting while the game's kind of slowed down here. So Depths had access to Thespian Stage. It may have been a good idea to copy the opposing Urza's Saga and allow it to gain some abilities. Once it has the ability to make constructs, that's going to stay on the land even after it changes names. Also of note, I mean, the getting stage 1 to trigger to make a colorless mana also stays on there. So if it does become a Dark Depths later, it also has the ability to tap for a colorless. The type of interactions that's not thought about too often. We see a Skyclade Apparition show up and just end all hope for Depths. They are just ready to move on to game number 3. Thespian Stage could have done some interesting stuff there, though may not have resulted in a victory. Urza's Saga just creating too much damage for a single land. The 2 constructs plus the artifact that it tutors up. And I guess the last note for people that are not familiar with this matchup, Pithing Needle naming Thespian Stage doesn't stop the Thespian Stage once it's become, for example, an Urza's Saga. So that's also something to consider, changing the name of Thespian Stage. If they play the Pithing Needle or get the Pithing Needle off of Urza's Saga and name Thespian Stage, and you've already changed it to a different card, then the Pithing Needle doesn't even interact at that point. And if you name the card that it's currently copying, like for example Urza's Saga, now all the Urza Sagas are shut down, including your own, and you also don't stop their top-decked Thespian Stage. So it's an interesting interaction. The Thespian Stage creates some really unique opportunities for just like next-level format knowledge.